Well, today we're going to actually be doing something a lot different than I normally do. We're going to be, I guess, I can't talk. I can't talk. I don't know why I can't talk, but this is going to be a one-shot video. I'm not editing anything. I'm just going to talk to you guys about something that I've done in my past that I regret. Yeah, I do regret doing, but I wouldn't change anything about it because I definitely learned from that experience. And this was definitely a time in my life where I was very inexperienced with relationships, very inexperienced. I had gone through a lot of toxic relationships and it kind of blinded my judgment a little bit. So this story is going to be the time I realized I was a simp. Okay, I was a simp, and basically I got cheated on 4 times. 4 times, not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4 times. Now this took place, I want to say like 5-6 years ago, and no, I'd say it's about it probably like close to 5 years ago, to be honest. 5 years ago. And it's crazy. So where this story begins is actually prior to me joining the military, right? So I was just, I was waiting for my ship out date, because when you join the military and stuff, you typically go through this whole process, whatever, and once you're done going through the whole process, they give you a date that you ship out. And for me, my ship out date to go to basic training and stuff like that wasn't for like 7 months. So your boy was wilding out. I went to parties and stuff. I went to a lot of really cool events, concerts, everything. I did as much crazy shit as I could do and got it out of my system before I joined. So in all of this, I actually wound up going to the beach with some friends of mine in high school and stuff like that. So like, my friends are like, hey, cool, like, they hit me up one day. I was like, honestly, like, I wasn't doing anything. I was always looking for a new adventure to kind of go out on and do when I was, younger and stuff. And, my friends are like, yo, let's go to the beach. I have some friends and stuff, like, they're like, college friends and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, that's cool, because I was at that age where I'm like, oh, college girls, oh, like all my weird shit. But anyways, so I leave my house and stuff, meet up with my friends at like one of their places and stuff, and they have like they call it the college girl friends they were talking about, like, oh yeah, like they're on their way, they're gonna meet us at the beach. So it was me and 3 of my friends. I have the worst names. I make up the worst names. I'll say Jason, and Jason, Brock, and Vincent were with me. Jason, Brock, and Vincent. All right, so Jason, Brock, and Vincent are all with me. The names don't really matter, but we go to the beach and everything. We finally see them, and I'm like, oh dang, like this is cool, whatever. I didn't really think anything of them. I guess I did have my eye on one of the girls that we wound up seeing at the beach and stuff. I'm like, dang. And not sure if but your boy was still working out back then too. Like I was definitely ripped up. So I was getting looks, I'm not gonna lie. I was walking around, I caught people staring at me and everything, because your boy had a nice little 6-pack going, and I was lean. I was really lean. I still am, but what I'm saying, I definitely did my thing, and it was cool. It was cool. It was definitely a vibe. But anyways, we had a good time. My friends and I were, we were vibing. We were all playing like in the water with this beach ball, because I guess when we got there were 3 girls, right? There were 4 of us and 3 of them. There was a short, light-skinned girl. There was a pretty dark Puerto Rican girl, and then there was a chunky Hispanic girl, And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not into big chicks, so that's a no, you feel me? And I'm like, I kind of have eyes for the light skinned chick, so I'm like, let me try to talk to her. So I was like, trying to spit game or whatever, and every advance was denied. Okay, denied. And I'm like, dang, like it's like that. I mean, it wasn't like she was being rude about it or anything. She just wasn't feeling me. I could tell. But the darker girl and stuff, right? Like she was like, I don't know, she had like an iPad or something with her, and she kept taking pictures of all of us, and she's like, hey guys, come on, group picture, oh my god. And you know, she was really good friends with my friend Vincent. Like they knew each other for a hot minute, so they actually met through like some program or whatever, and that's how we even got to know these girls at all, you know. But it was really weird because she was very insistent on taking pictures with us all the time, and I'm like, okay, cool, you know. I didn't think anything of it, so she kept taking pictures of us, she kept putting her arm around me and everything, and I'm like, all right, cool, like, you know, whatever. And later on, we wound up leaving because, you know, it got late and everything. We all had to go home, and you know, we were all walking to our own separate ways, and she had to leave early because we were actually about to do some, you know, other stuff, like go over to a different friend's house and play some video games with the remaining people who could hang out with us. But let's say the three girls' names, right? The thicker girl, we'll call her Rosa. We'll call the dark girl Clarissa, and we'll call the light-skinned chick Denise. So Clarissa had to go home early to her dad and everything. Her dad wanted her home at a certain time. It was like 6 p.m. It was getting a little late. We were like, you know, we're still kind of young, so it made sense. I guess like we all went home. Long story short, we all went home. But a few days went by, and I'm like, you know, in my house and stuff like that, you know, working out. I was doing body weight workouts at the time. I didn't have access to a gym, so especially since, like, you know, I had graduated high school. I graduated high school at a young age too. I graduated when I was like 17. So I, you know, was just doing home workouts. I was doing push-ups and stuff, sit-ups, in between commercial breaks and stuff on TV. So I'm, you know, getting like the workout of my life in my living room and stuff like that, and my phone starts ringing. Now, you know, it's a little weird to me, and nobody really, I mean, people don't really hit me up like that, at least at that point in time. My friends obviously hit me up the day before, but like I said, I had to actually go and call people. Like, people seldom called your boy. But I answered the phone, and my friend Vincent, he's like, yo, James, what are you doing right now? And I'm like, I'm like working out, like, what's up? And he's like, so Clarissa, like, she likes you, bro. And I'm like, Clarissa, like, who's Clarissa again? Because I forgot who she was, man. Honestly, like, I had a good time, but I was really set on, you know, Denise looked good, bro. She looked good. And it wasn't that Clarissa didn't look good. She looked good too. I don't know. I guess my eyes weren't even trained on her, you know? Like, I didn't even really, like, to me, she just registered as like a friend. I'm like, all right, cool. But anyways, he's like, oh yeah, she's like the darker girl. She's really fit. She's really fit. And she was the one that was all over you. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, what about, like, cool, like, what's up? He's like, yeah, she likes you, bro, and she's actually right here. She wants to talk to you. And I'm like, oh, and you know, my little horn dog. So I was in underwear and nothing else. I was doing push-ups and this whole workout in the living room in my underwear. And I'm like, with a quickness, lightning speed, I'm like, I will be there, right? So I hopped in the shower, got dressed. Everything was like, you know, on point. You feel me? I made sure I did a bunch of push-ups before I left the house, and my chest looked all puffed out. My shoulders looked broad. My biceps looked all nice and cut up. And you know, I was on the far side of Chicago, like the far north side. So I had to take the train to get over to where she was, which was downtown Chicago, and like, you know, like super downtown Chicago. And the train ride was like, you know, I think 30-40 minutes. Now, I was so nervous in a way because I just didn't want her to think that, like, maybe she saw something different than what she actually remembered, you know, like, so I was definitely trying to make myself look really good, you know, really good. So I did myself up, whatever. And I swear I probably took way longer than most girls take to get ready in the bathroom, because I think maybe an hour and a half had passed by the time I left my house. And I took the train down to meet my friend in you know, in a little area. And of course, by the time I got down there, my friend's like, bro, she left. And I'm like, oh my God. All right, well, whatever. So anyways, you know, my friend's like, yo, but she told me to give you her Facebook, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, people talk on Facebook? Like, I was, you know, me and technology were not best friends at the time, believe it or not. So anyways, another day goes by. I'm at my friend's house. We're playing Call of Duty and stuff like that. And I'm messaging, you know, this girl over Facebook and stuff. Clarissa and I are going back and forth, whatever. And then I'm like jokingly asking, like, yo, you should totally give me your number, blah, blah, blah. She gave me her number with a quickness. And we started talking from there. So things hit off really really nice, you know. Like I said, this is prior to me going out to basic training and stuff like that. So you know, I was just looking for a good time. I wasn't there for a long time, you feel me? I was trying to get my little Jimmy wet, you know, and that was it. So I'm like, yo, we should hang out, like, blah, 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 let's catch a vibe. Like, we only know each other around other people, which is good. That's a really good way to meet people. But let's see how we are, like, you know, away from people, like just me and you. So I hit her up. We actually wound up traveling in Chicago in these little neighborhoods. They're like hipster towns and stuff. And we like went in and out of, like, you know, stores. And it was really cool. Like, we were like window shopping basically, and like kind of visiting little neighborhoods that she grew up in. And I took her to some neighborhoods that I grew up in. And we caught a vibe, like, really quick. Like, we were feeling each other big time. She was really cool, and it was crazy, but things were moving pretty quick. Like, I remember, like, at the end of the night, you know, it was getting late. You know, she had to go once again back home. You know, she was living with her dad. I was, you know, I had to go, you know, back to where I was staying and stuff at the time. And you know, before we left, you know, we made out a little bit. I'm like, oh, okay, cool, you know. I think I kind of like her, you know. So fast forward to the day before I go to basic training. Day before I go to basic training, we had been hanging out literally every single day for like at least a month and some change. Like, it had been at least, I'd say, I would even venture to say like a couple months. It'd been a couple of months we were been hanging out every single day, you know, laughing, joking, going on all these dates and stuff. And it was cool. We were really feeling each other. But we never slept together or anything. Like, none of that, you know, we never slept together. So I was like, all right, cool. Well, I mean, like, hey, you want? The idea came to me, and I warn you guys, an idea that I would later on look back and say maybe this was a little too quick. So, like I said, I'll say we knew each other for probably 2 months tops, and it was late at night. This one night, you know, this one fateful night. It was the night before I had to go to basic training and stuff, and or fly out for basic training, and I'm like, hey. We vibe so well, and I've never met anybody like that in my life. Like, we should be a thing. Like, we should be a thing. She's like, really? Because she was about to start college. I was about to, you know, go and do my thing. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna be separated anyways. So, I mean, we'd be able to see each other on break. It'd be cool. Like, I think it would work out. And if it doesn't work, fine, no harm, no foul. She's like, all right, cool, let's try it out, whatever. So, we basically met ourselves official, but not official. Like, we were dating and stuff, but you know, it was kind of just our little secret. We didn't tell anybody. And I went off to basic training. So one thing about basic training is obviously when you're there, you can't have your phones, none of that stuff. So I actually went cold on her for like, I think it was 2 months, 2.5 months or something like that. And I couldn't talk to her. Like I would try to, cause like, I guess they do give you like a phone call you can make once a week. And I would try to call her cause I was not close to my family at all. Still am not. And she wouldn't pick up obviously cause she was out with her friends, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm out of basic training. At this point, I'm like, dang, like that was kind of a dumb move on my part. I mean, she hasn't seen me in a while, so she's definitely probably moved on. She doesn't even know who I am. And it's damn near like November. I'm damn near November at this point. And you know, I give her a call because I get my phone back and stuff like that. And I'm like, hey, like, what's up? And she's like, oh, hey, like, blah, 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 like, you know, whatever. So we start talking and stuff. The vibe picked up right back where it left off. You know, we're like, hey, like, I'm like, hey, we're still a thing, right? She's like, of course we're still a thing. Like, I've been thinking about you. She actually did leave me a couple voicemail messages and stuff when I was, you know, doing my thing in basic. So it was cool. Anyways, we met up. For the first time since basic, like I'd say about a month after I got out. So the total of 4 months being separated, right? And I was back in Chicago for Christmas break. I'll never forget it. And you know, it was great. I met her. She had a huge, you know, googly smile on her face. We wound up, like, you know, it was late at night when I landed in Chicago, so I wound up staying in her dorm room. And you know, hey man, she hit me with the Netflix and chill, dog. She opened up a laptop. She didn't have a TV in her room, so we were watching movies on her laptop and stuff like that. One thing led to a motherfucking another, you know what I'm saying? And Cheeks was getting beat. You feel me? Like, Cheeks was getting beat. So obviously I was, you know, balls deep in the situation. And you know, it was great. It was great. So I was I was only going to be in Chicago though for 2.5 weeks. That was the catch for Christmas break, 2.5 weeks. I had to take leave for that. So obviously we had a good time. She like introduced me to her dad, which I thought was gut wrenching at the time. I'm like, dang, like that's a little fast, but hey, that's fine. She introduced me to like more of her family members and stuff. And I introduced her to a lot of my friends. It was just an all around really cool thing. Then I went to what we call in the Air Force tech school. It's basically where you learn your job, whatever job you got assigned. You have to go there for however long your career field wants you to be there. And then when you graduate, you get to go operational or actually perform your job in the real workforce. So I had to go to tech school. Tech school was 3 months, right? So I went another 3 months without seeing her. And I didn't think it was a big deal and stuff like that, but there was this one night, bro. One night she hit me up. She's like, hey, I have something to tell you. It was like a Saturday night. I was actually sharing a room with it was like my bunkmate or whatever, right? Because like we were in the dorms at this point, in Texas. They put you in dorms, and it was it gets awkward sometimes because like if you are in a room with another person, which 99% of the time you will be, like they're gonna be talking to their significant other. You're gonna be talking to like your significant other, whether it be a girlfriend, wife, whatever, so anyway, she calls me. She's like, hey, I have something to tell you, but don't be mad. And I'm like, what? Like, I mean, we tell each other everything. That's fine. I'm not gonna be mad at you. I could never be mad at you. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just had that kind of vibe. And then she's like, all right, well, I'm gonna tell you whatever. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I reassured her I wouldn't get mad. She's like, yeah, so I was at this party, we were dancing, things were getting crazy, and like, as I was dancing and stuff like that, she has rhythm. She was Puerto Rican. She was, getting down, whatever, doing her thing. So Clarissa's getting down and whatever, and this dude, he was kind of drunk, and like he like spun her around and kissed her. And she's like, yeah. And I felt so bad because I'm like, I know I'm with you, and I didn't like it. I like pushing him off, and I smacked him, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, oh well, I mean, hey, you can't control that. Like, you can't control that. Like, I wasn't mad, no harm, no foul. She's like, you're not mad at me, like, at all. I'm like, no, not at all. That's fine. It's shit happens. Shit happens. Like, I wouldn't hold it against you. So she's like, all right, cool, I love you, blah blah blah, whatever. So we hang up, whatever. Now a few days go by, and like that story kind of it didn't really, like, I didn't even think anything of it. But then I'm like, you know what, maybe I should get a second set of eyes. You know how it is, bro. Like, the guys talk, guys do talk, girls talk, guys talk, So I ran it by one of my friends, and I'm like, yo, bro, so here's the situation. My girl was at a party, she was getting down dirty, dude spun her around, kissed her, and he's like, bro, listen to the story. Does that sound reasonable? Bro, what? She cheated on you, my guy. And I'm like, nah, I don't count that as cheating. She just kissed him. And it wasn't like she kissed him. He like pulled her face in and kissed her. He's like, bro, she's just trying to tell you what you want to hear, so you won't be mad at her. And I'm like, and I wish I listened, because I definitely I fought for her, knife and everything, bro. So crazy. Anyways, tech school's over. I get to go back to my little hometown for a little bit longer and stuff before I go to my operational base. So I go back to Chicago for an additional 2 weeks, and this is like a time skip, and it's important because we get there every time. And this is what was kind of shitty. So every time we were together, right, we had the best times ever. We never really argued or anything. It was like high highs, but we also had our low lows. But our lowest moments were when we were apart, like arguments would get very heated and stuff, like we'd get really agitated with each other and stuff. But in person, we were always like, we couldn't stop, getting a piece of each other. It was crazy. So I go back to Chicago and stuff to go see her for 2 more weeks. Everything was great. I think I went to like a wedding of one of her family members and stuff like that. It was lit. We had a good time together. Vibe was nice. But after everything was all said and done, like, I'm telling you, bro, like, one thing I can tell you about that relationship is Cheeks was getting clapped on sight. Every time I saw her, Cheeks was getting clapped. And maybe that's what was clouding my judgment, because even that story, because my friend, like, I told several other friends about that same story, and they all told me the same thing. They're like, bro, she's cheating on you. And I'm like, nah, bro. And then when I started doubting it a little bit, I'm like, maybe she is cheating on me. I went back to Chicago this very moment, right? Clapped Cheeks, and I completely forgot everything. It was almost like a cloak and dagger kind of thing. She's like, oh, hey, get you some good, you feel me? And I'm like, all right, cool. Anyway, so I went, I guess I left Chicago and stuff. We were on great terms. I went to my operational base, and like every couple weeks I would fly out to see her and stuff, and everything was good until I caught wind from a friend that he saw her with another person at a party, right? And then I'm like, oh, well, that's not a big deal. It's like, no, bro, like, I know this guy. Like, he was low-key macking on your girl, bro. Like, he was, like, making out with her and everything in front of everybody. And, like, a friend saw, people saw, like, it was crazy. And I'm like, bro, what? And then I get a call from another friend. Same story, bro. Same story. And the thing is, these two friends didn't even really know each other like that, you know? So I'm like, what is going on, man? So, obviously, I was talking to my friends about it. They give me really good advice. They're like, yo, cut her off. Don't talk to her anymore, bro. Like, she's doing you dirty. She's obviously, like, maybe she wants you for your money. Maybe she just has you as like a safety net in case things don't work out with the people she's messing around with. I don't know what it is, but whatever. So, of course, your boy, I'm like, okay, this is like another warning sign for me. And I actually mustered up the courage to be like, you know what, bitch, I'm done with this stuff. So I blocked her one random ass day. You know, we were talking, we were messaging, whatever, and like I think I said goodnight, right? The night prior, we were talking, whatever. But then literally, I remember that night very, very particularly because I think we got into a mini argument, and at the end of the argument, I blocked her. I like deleted everything, all of her text messages, everything, like anything on social media. She was completely cold turkey blocked. Like, I didn't explain shit. I blocked her. We were in the same state, so I'm like, I can cut you off. I don't have to worry about you anymore. I can move on. But my friend, the next day, right? The day is almost over. Time skip one day ahead. And my friend, this is a new friend, completely new friend. I'm gonna name him Charles, man. So Charles hits me up. He's like, bro, he was one of my military homies. So I'm like, you know, I have my homies I told you guys about in the beginning. Those are like my people from my hometown. Then I have like my military homies. So one of my military homies is like, bro, your girl is hitting me up, man. I'm like, hitting you up? What the fuck? He's like, yeah, she keeps asking about you, bro. Like, she's been like, and you should check on Facebook, bro. She's been making some wild videos. And then, bro, she was making a tell-all story in like, I think it was like 5 or 10 video segments begging for me back. And she had all the videos on public. She was putting all kinds of business out there, all kinds of freaky dicky shit we did behind the scenes. She was putting that all on blast. I'm like, yo, chill. My parents still follow me. Like, I don't talk to them, but I don't want them hearing about this shit. What the hell? She's like, I remember the time when we were in the hotel and you did to me. And I'm like, oh my God. So anyways, I unblocked her off of everything. And I'm like, yo, the fuck's your problem? And then, you know, she was talking to me. She's like, what the hell? Like, why would you block me? Blah, blah, blah. And then I explained everything to her. Because I'm like, your story doesn't make any sense. You said that you kissed some dude a while back. And then, you know, blah, blah, blah. I didn't tell her that about the incident that my friends already told me about. Because I'm like, all right, like, that's already a strike for me. You cheated. Like, you dead ass. Two people came to me that don't even know each other, telling the same story at a party that they were conveniently at. You definitely did something. So I told her, like, yo, it was with that first story. She's like, listen, like, you have nothing to worry about. I promise you, I didn't do anything. Blah, 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 like, whatever. So I'm like, I felt like I was the crazy one. I was like, you know, maybe jealous or some shit. I don't know. I just didn't feel comfortable. So I'm like, listen, all right, cool. I apologize for blocking you, which I shouldn't have done. And I'm like, you know what? If this happens again, though, I will block you. I won't let you know what's going on. I'll just block you. She's like, all right, cool. So anyways, time skip, a month later, she calls me crying because she cheated on me. And I'm like, I'm weak, bro. I'm weak. So this is round 3, basically. This is round 3. This is the 3rd time. The other 2 times, the kissing I'll count as cheating because I'm like, bro, you can't be kissing other people while you're in a relationship. The second incident, my friend spotted. So I'm like, okay, that's round 2. 3. Now, I should have left after the first inkling that something was going wrong, but this is round 3. It's late at night, right? And I already have insecurity issues with my relationship. People are telling me that I'm stupid, like I'm a dumbass, blah blah, all kinds of crazy shit, right? Every time people see me, like, oh, it's that idiot again, bro. He had that one girl that sleep with everybody. And you know, that's kind of the downside of telling people your business. You know, it kind of does bite you in the butt, but I'm transparent, so I'm like, I'll just take the good with the bad. I don't care. I did kind of care though, but people were like just dogging me and stuff. So I'm like, nah, bro, she loves me, man. I mean, she probably did, but she loved everybody else too. I mean, she loved her some sex, dog. I ain't gonna lie. But it was 3 a.m., right? 3 a.m. one Thursday night. It was a Thursday. No, it was a Thursday or Friday. It was a Friday night, actually. Friday night. And she calls me at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. on a Friday night. And I'm like, what's going on? And she's crying, like, you know I love you, right? I love you. And then I swear I'll never forget the feeling that I had in my stomach. I had like it was like a fucked up version of butterflies. Like I had butterflies, but not the good kind. Like it was almost like that instinct that something bad was about to happen. I didn't know what exactly, but something bad was gonna happen. So I'm like, oh my God. So she's like, listen, I'm so sorry, but I was at this party and I was talking to this guy, and you know, I don't know, I was just really tipsy and stuff, and like, you know, the guy, he's like the captain of the basketball team here, and he had eyes for me, and I don't know, one thing led to another, and I slept with him. I'm so sorry. I love you. I thought about you the entire time, and bruh, I literally hung up, and I couldn't process what I heard. I was a fitness buff. I've always worked out, but this was the first time ever I stopped working out. I stopped working out. I was sick to my stomach. I couldn't even go to sleep. I was wide awake. I think I lost like 20 pounds in like 3 days. That depression weight loss, you feel me? Like I lost a lot of weight. I didn't say shit to her. She was blowing up my phone, calling me, and I ignored her for 3 days. Right? I was dead set in my mind that I was gonna block her. But then the cheeks, bruh. She had cheeks, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Like she had some cheeks, bro. I'm telling you, that's the thing. Every time I went to go see her, it clouded my judgment, because I was on the path of breaking up with her and stuff, but it just didn't work out that way. So I finally call her or answer like one of her calls, because she calls me in the middle of one of my gym sessions, and I was kind of in a little schmood, and you know, because when I finally did go back to the gyms, you know, I was trying to get back in the swing of things. My phone was ringing. I call her. We have a 4-hour conversation, heated. Me being heated. I'm like, why would you do that to me? Blah blah blah. Because I love showing people affection. Like whenever I fall for somebody, I guess I kind of fall hard. And I was buying her all kinds of stuff. I was sending her money for different, like, you know, little programs she was a part of that her parents couldn't pay for. Because, you know, I was like, you know, I'm in the military. I could pay for that. You know, I'm not broke. You know, I know broke boy. I could afford it. But obviously, I was getting, you know, jerked around. And you know, long story short, she's like, just come see me, we can do this in person and whatever. I fucked up, because I definitely saw her again a week later, flew out to Chicago, stayed there for 3 weeks, and when I tell you, I don't know what she did down there to summon all of her little demons to cloud my judgment, but she did that because she threw it back every kind of way but loose, you know what I'm saying? And like I was so clouded. I'm like, bro, like I will never have better, you know, I'll never have better booty than this in my life. Like this is the best booty I ever had in my life. I ain't trying to give it up, you feel me? So like she can cheat on me 5 more times and I'll be good with this. And then, you know, obviously I come back to Chicago. My friend's like, yo, so did you break up with her? And I'm like, nah, man, I can't do it, bro. Like she gave me the blah, blah, you know, throw it back 3,000. You feel me? So I'm like, well, I couldn't do it. So my friend was getting irritated. They're like, dog, like just don't talk to us about her anymore. Like we've given you all the advice we can give you. Don't talk to us about her. I thought I was doing the right thing, sticking by her side and stuff. I mean, maybe like we're finding ourselves. We're still young. I was like, bro, I had to be like 18, 19 at the time. And I'm like, bro, we're still finding ourselves. Like, it's fine. Anyways, so I go see her again. This is the final time. So I see her again. And this is like around, I want to say, December time frame. This is like another Christmas break. Another Christmas break goes by. I see her again. We have a great time, go to the best places. I'm like, yo, what if I take her to like super expensive places? It'll probably blow her mind. She's never ever in her life been to anything expensive in her life. And you know, I'll take her there. So I took her to the most expensive restaurants, expensive hotels I could ever like think of in Chicago. Cause every time I came back, I was like, you know, only there for a little bit of time. So I'm like, I had money with me that I could like, you know, go blow and do whatever. So I showed her a really good time. We had a really good time together. I left, and I swear to you, the second I landed in the state I was in at the time, which was Arizona, I get a call from her, and a FaceTime call. I had like an iPad and stuff and an iPhone, but she was calling me on FaceTime, crying, bro, crying her eyes out. Oh my God. Ah! And then her friend that was in her dorm room was like, you have to tell him, that's fucked up. Like, you have to tell him. And then she's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. So, and then I started that same feeling again. The feeling of fucked up butterflies kind of overcame me, and it was pretty messed up, man. Pretty messed up. So she said that first off, she told me that the first time that she told me that the guy that kissed her was actually somebody that she had seen for like 3 months prior, like at parties. Like they were just like they had eyes for each other a little bit. They made their first move at that party where she got kissed. But what actually happened is they were making out, and then her cheeks got clapped, my guy. Like, her cheeks were getting drilled by this dude. And it's crazy to kind of go back a little bit. I actually bought her a $1,000 camera in December and stuff. Of the very first December that we met up and everything. So I'm like, oh cool, like whatever, bro. I remember like going back on leave, one of the previous times I was telling you in the story time, and she actually had pictures of another guy in that camera, and he was all over her. But I thought they were just being goofy, right? But the more I kept scrolling, the more I'm like, this is a little weird. Wow, I'm not a jealous dude, so I didn't think anything of it. Anyway, she tells me that that's the guy she's been like messing with on and off, because the dude has feelings for her. She's like she kind of feels for him too, and she says she felt so bad because she like doesn't deserve somebody like me. I was treating her like really good and blah blah blah, and I was getting heated. I'm like, oh my god, bro, like are you for real? And I'm like, what did you do? Like, did you top him off? Did he hit? Blah blah blah. She's like, yeah, he smashed, and I blowed him. I gave him a blowjob, and then I'm like, oh my god, bro. And then she said she recently, like a couple days after the day after I left, she got her cheeks drilled by a dude again, as if me wasn't enough, But crazy story, and it finally all ended a few months later, because I tried breaking up with her through the phone again, and she gave me this big sob story. I felt bad, and I still blocked her, against like my messed up conscience. But then her dad called me, bruh. Her dad called me the next morning crying because he wanted me to be with her daughter, and he knew that his daughter made messed up choices. He's like, please stay with her, man. Like, she's never had a good boyfriend in her life, man. Come on, please, man. Like, I've never had a parent call me begging for me to be with their daughter. Craziness, right? So I'm like, what? Bruh, you sound crazy, bro. She cheated on me 4 times, my guy. 4 times. Not 1, not 2, not 3. 4 times. She obviously doesn't care about your boy. So I blocked his number because I mean that was some weird shit. But then obviously, like, one thing came to another, bro. She reached out to me through email, through text message, through Facebook, through other apps I had on my phone and stuff. She was contacting me through friends again. A bunch of my friends were like, bro, here she go again. She hitting us up. Like, what the hell going on? So I hit her up, and then we kind of worked things out a little bit. But I shit you not even a week later, I'm like, man, fuck that shit. I was watching Dragon Ball, right? Random, right? I was watching Dragon Ball in my room, and I'm like, all right, cool, bet, whatever. Like, I don't know why, what came over me, but I mustered up some courage or something. I don't know. It wasn't courage, because I didn't ever do this in person, but I picked up the phone. I'm like, hey, if I meet her in person, it's a done deal. She gonna throw them cheeks in my face. I'm gonna get clouded, and I'm probably never going to be able to leave that relationship. It's going to be an endless cycle of her cheeks getting drilled by random dudes, me drilling her cheeks and forgetting that she got her cheeks drilled by random dudes, until I'm like out of a safety net, a safe proximity of them cheeks. So anyways, I called her friend, and I told her friend to tell her that I was no longer going to be talking to her anymore, because she did me dirty, like super dirty, and I was psychologically messed up from that shit. Like, I didn't trust anybody from that point going forward, because I thought she was a really genuine person, but she kept doing me dirty, like 100% dirty. And the lesson to be learned from this long ass story time, I'm sorry if that was boring, but make sure you respect yourself enough to get out of a situation when you start noticing the signs early. And also, don't do what I did, because I think what made the situation pretty bad off the jump is the fact that I rushed into something. I didn't really fully know who she was. I didn't know that she was very impulsive. I didn't know that, she just wasn't ready for a relationship. I didn't even realize that I wasn't ready for a relationship. I guess I was, but I was too thirsty for a relationship and blinded by a lot of things. We tend to see things that we want to see and not the things that we need to see when we hop in a relationship. So make sure you guys think about shit like that. Learn from my mistake, because I messed up, and I tell this story to a lot of people and they think I'm dumb, whatever. I don't care. I'm being transparent with you guys because it's one of them days. I don't feel like uploading a whole lot of videos today. I do feel like playing games and streaming though, so you can catch me on Twitch a little bit later. But that's pretty much the story, man. hopefully that was entertaining to some degree. I know I talk a lot and I try to go in as much detail as possible, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notifications, man. And well, until the next time I see you guys again, take care. Peace.